It's the Tea with Charles podcast, where everyone is a celebrity.
Welcome to the Tea with Charles podcast. This is your host, Charles St. Anthony. I have been away from my podcast for a bit, but that's because I was working on my sixth, count it, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 original book, Saints and Sinners in Oklahoma City. Just to describe it briefly, I decided to do a little nomad thing, try to work from different cities across the U.S. And the first place I ended up was Oklahoma City, and I felt inspired. So I wrote about the food and the crazy experiences I had here. I've got 5 copies of Saints and Sinners in Oklahoma City to give away. To get your copy, go to my Instagram, KingCharles0921. That's KingCharles0921, and just write OKC, and you will win a free copy of Saints and Sinners in Oklahoma City. So setting that aside, today we have a full renaissance for you. As a full card-carrying member of the Beehive, I have brought another Beyoncé fan here, and we are going to go full renaissance extravaganza. Joining me today on the Tea with Charles podcast is the one and only Marcella Hammer.
Hello. Hello, everyone.
Hi, Marcella. How have you been?
Hi, Charles. I am doing just fine. I think everyone lies and says that, but yeah, I'm great.
You look great. You're serving face, serving beauty.
I had to get a little bit luminous for this occasion because, I mean, it's you and we're talking about Beyoncé.
We're talking about Beyoncé, the Queen of Queens. I could not be more happier. I'll be honest, like this summer there's been some rough patches there for me. And the new Beyoncé album came out and my skin cleared up. It watered my crops. My joint pain went away. And Queen Beyoncé just heals all.
She's very powerful. Very powerful.
She's very powerful. Were you expecting a new Beyoncé album at this time? I had no idea it was coming out.
I had no idea until the announcement was made about a month ago. Right? Ish. Because this came out on the 29th of July. And
that's right.
Like mid-June, the internet started announcing that henceforth shall come a Beyoncé album at the end of July.
And at first we didn't really know what was going on. We didn't know what kind of album or anything. We just knew it was new Beyoncé. It was secretively titled B7, but she dropped the cover on us. The cover, I don't know. This is audio only podcast. How would you describe the cover for everybody?
The cover is our glorious Queen Beyoncé riding atop this shimmering disco, half sheer, elegant steed of a horse. And she is wearing a very minimalist yet maximalist bejeweled ensemble that covers very little of her human gorgeous body.
I mean, it's not even really a bodice, really. It's kind of like this boned, wiry, I don't know how comfortable it is, but you put up with pain for fashion. Let's be honest.
Yeah, it definitely doesn't look like it was designed for comfort. It was really more for this impact of the steed riding astride the steed of sparkling disco magic.
Disco magic. And I think she's referencing a little bit when Bianca Jagger rode into Studio 54 on her disco horse. And maybe a little Lady Godiva as well, riding naked on the horse.
Definitely. She's got a little Lady Godiva hair thing going on.
Yes. And she's just posing there like, yes, bitch, I'm on this horse. And I'm going to ride into your hearts because this is the Renaissance horse. But I did a little research before I called you up today. So what do you think the name of the horse is? Because the horse has a name.
I can't even believe that it actually has a name. And I really am struggling with this. I want to just say the patriarchy. It is called the patriarchy, that she is just like riding that bitch right in. But
she's straddling the patriarchy.
She is side saddle up on the patriarchy into the club of our hearts.
Showing who's boss.
Exactly. In a very uncomfortable outfit that's barely even there.
barely even there, made out of like whale bones or something. It's like all these little spiky things.
Oh my gosh. Definitely constructed by gnomes in a magical cavern specifically for this cover.
Well, she looks gorgeous. So there's a fan favorite name and the real name. So everybody wants the horse to be named Renee, which is haha funny. Renee. Okay. But apparently some wizard went onto Beyonce's website and looked at the HTML of the images. And it said the name was Disco Horse Jacob, which is not that exciting a name for such an exciting horse. You know what I mean?
I mean, do you think that they name disco horses like they name race horses and there's like a particular formula for it? And maybe this is just something that we're being clued into through the HTML of Beyonce's website that has been going on all beneath our noses for some time.
There's something up with that horse. I will just say it. Let's get into it, into the music of Renaissance. My favorites change day to day. What are your top 3 songs that you love off of Renaissance?
Oh my gosh. So today it was Summer Renaissance, and I have to pull it out in front of me because like I really do listen to it all day at this point. Heated is my other one today that I couldn't stop listening to. And I'm going to say it, energy.
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 It's so catchy.
It's very catchy. Those are some good choices. Summer Renaissance, I'm going to say I love the Donna Summer reference.
I agree. I did meet someone today though that doesn't like Beyonce, and it was a very jarring moment. I was playing Beyonce in the place where I was working quite loud, and I said, "Pardon my Beyonce, but actually don't." And she said she didn't like Beyonce.
What?
I know.
Well, she could just go have a milkshake with Khalees because there's a place for people like that.
Clearly, she needed a milkshake.
Sour milkshake. Jeez. That's just not right.
What are your jams today? What are you feeling today?
Today, I'm feeling, as always, my favorite song first off the gate was always Plastic Off the Sofa. It's got kind of a romantic R&B vibe. Maybe I'm in the mood to get loved up. You know what I mean?
You need some love.
And then you got that smooth transition into Virgo's Groove, which sounds a little Michael Jackson off the wall-ish. And America Has a Problem. That's one that they're playing it at the clubs already.
Okay, first of all, as an adult talking to a fellow adult, you've been to the clubs and danced to Beyonce?
Yes, in Oklahoma.
In Oklahoma.
They're playing Beyonce in the clubs in Oklahoma, which is kind of amazing because, that just shows the reach of our queen's prowess. She's got a song that's not even the single playing at the club in Oklahoma.
She's that good.
I just love America Has a Problem. When you first saw that song title, didn't you think that was going to be some like political message song? I entirely thought it was going to be like something about like gun control or something. And then you listen, it's like this booty twerking, pussy popping anthem that
we needed.
Is perfect for the dance floor.
It's so perfect. Yeah, I thought it would be angrier, but I mean, I would rather have a little booty shake than be angry.
Yes, exactly. We need the booty shake, and which begs the question now: what is America's problem?
It starts with an R and ends with Republicans.
She went there.
No, I'm kidding. It's the national sport of politics. I'm just kidding. What is America's problem? Because
according to Beyonce's song, it's probably booty twerking and pussy popping.
I think it's everyone that isn't booty popping and pussy whatevering that you just said. I'm conservative. I'm conservative.
I'm a conservative Republican woman, much like Meghan McCain.
I wear conservative clothing. I wear buns in my hair.
That booty gun do what I want to. We just got to say that. That booty gonna do what I want to. We all have our favorites off the album. I'm going to say that I knew it was going to be good when she dropped Break My Soul. It was a good song. We had the Robin S. kind of interpolation. And on top of that, we had Big Frida.
of her.
Then the full album drops and she has all these like kind of queer references. You know, we had not only Big Frida, we had samples of a Kevin Aviant song called Cunty, which was my era. Like the late 90s New York club scene. They were playing some Cunty. And I just want to know which of Beyonce's gay friends was like, hey, you need to sample this. Because I can guarantee you that Beyonce wasn't sitting there with Tina Knowles listening to Cunty, 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 Cunty. You know what I mean?
Exactly. But I'm so glad that this is happening now for all of us. I mean, you and I are about the same age, but I was not in that club with you. I'm conservative, Charles. I was not there, but I do love the word cunty.
Cunty. It just rolls off the tongue.
Yeah. It's like country, but a cunt.
Yeah. And cunty is a very versatile word too, because it can be both good and bad. Like you could be cunty like she's a bitch, or you could be like, oh, she looking cunty. Yes, queen, the house down boots.
I do. Oh, only because I've learned so much from your books over the years, and you've exposed me to some cultural language things that otherwise, like, I wasn't going to read it in the Hunger Games. I had to read it in your book.
You have to read it in Saints and Sinners in Oklahoma City. It's what you need to do.
True. It's true.
All right. So as a straight person, like, are there any terms that or things about gay culture that like mystify you? Like, had you heard of cunty before this Beyonce album?
No, the song, no. I mean, I definitely have called people cunts many times, and slags and things like that, but never heard of that song. No, but I did read about it in the New York Times.
Okay. Well, as long as the New York Times knows about it, now it's official.
Yeah.
Okay. There's another gay slang that's in the album that Big Frida says. She says, release the trade. This is what, do you know this? What does trade mean in gay slang?
I have no idea.
Okay. This has got some interesting history behind it.
Tell me more.
Okay. So trade originally comes from the term rough trade. And rough trade meant like a gay prostitute, but maybe somebody that was kind of rough looking, like somebody that might not be gay, but just turning tricks to get by. And eventually rough trade, which meant male prostitute, kind of evolved into the word trade, which just means a good looking man at this point. Like if you're at the bar with your friends and some good looking guy comes in, you could say, oh, here comes trade. And that just means a handsome dude is here.
Huh. I love the evolution of language.
Yes.
That is phenomenal.
But we're not talking about hookers anymore. Trade just means good looking man.
I love that. Do straight people say that?
I mean, they can if they want to, you know.
It's not unheard of, but is it?
I mean, it'll probably cross over into regular terminology now, because kind of like shade used to be kind of gay slang, and that is now everybody says it. Like she's throwing shade.
They really do.
Very fun. So now that our vocabulary lesson is over, I'm going to have to say every Beyonce album brings some controversy. And I have the list of controversies here of the Renaissance album. First and foremost, we're going to talk about her, Miss Milkshake herself, Khalees. So what do you know about this? Like, not as many people have been like reading about this hours and hours a day like I have. What do you know about the Khalees Beyonce cat fight?
Well, I feel like I know enough to be in this conversation with you right now. From what I understand, she wrote and created that song with the Neptunes and didn't have writing credits on it. Is that correct?
So the saga of Miss Milkshake is the Neptunes, consisting of Pharrell and Chad Hugo, originally wrote Milkshake for one Miss Britney Jean Spears.
How did I not know this?
How did you not know this? So the Neptunes wrote Milkshake for Britney. Britney was like, nah, or, you know, she didn't want this. She she was probably the biggest pop star at the time, early 2000s. And Neptunes were working with Khalees as well. So they recorded Milkshake with Khalees. Khalees does not have any writing credits on Milkshake. She is only listed as an associated performer or something along those lines. When Beyonce's album came out and she got word that she was like, it wasn't a direct sample, it's what they call interpolation, which is a sample is kind of like a copy paste. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Interpolation just means it sounds real close, but it's not quite the same. So they didn't sample Milkshake. Beyonce did some la la la's that sounded like the Milkshake la la la's, and Miss Khalees was not happy with the situation. Did you see Khalees's video that she made when that started this whole controversy?
Yeah, she was pretty mad.
She's pretty mad.
Yeah.
She wrote the Bossy song. She was sounding bossy.
Mm-hmm.
She was not happy. She wanted Beyonce to get on the phone and give her a call. I don't know how I feel about this. I guess, as an artist, as a performer, she has a feeling about it being used in someone else's art. At the same time, I don't think Beyonce was like she recorded it. She handed it to her lawyers. She's probably like, all right, you guys take care of it. Like, like I don't picture Beyonce picking up the phone and being, why, hello, Khalees. How are you doing?
Yeah, I don't think that phone call was ever going to happen, Khalees.
I don't think it was ever going to happen. And there are some pictures of, Beyonce and Khalees hanging out way back then.
Mm-hmm.
You got to remember, Milkshake was more than 20 years ago. Something like that. I think this has more to do with Khalees and Beyonce came out about the same time. Her Khalees's status as a music performer kind of fizzled out, whereas Beyonce became Beyonce. And maybe it has something more to do with that. And on top of that, maybe Beyonce could have given her a call, but people don't bring up Khalees was married to Jay-Z's mortal enemy.
Well,
so if we go back to early 2000s beefs, Jay-Z and Nas had this like long ass feud that went on for years. So, I don't think it was never going to happen, sis. Like Beyonce was never going to pick up the phone and be like, why, hello, Miss Khalees. May I use your milkshake? It wasn't happening. And legally, she didn't have to either because, the Neptunes had the writing publishing rights to it. I mean, it would have been nice as a courtesy, but
it's like the complicated emotions in life of an artist. And what are you going to do, girl? Like,
what are you going to do?
What are you going to do?
Do you think Khalees kind of had a point, though? Do you think she deserved a courtesy call?
I mean, Beyonce's really busy. I don't really know what to tell you, Khalees. No, I get it. I think that her emotions are valid. At the same time, it's nice because it gives us a chance to have this conversation and ask this question if Beyonce even should call her or should have called her. But I don't know. Like you said, she didn't have to. It's just so tricky. Like we talk about ownership, like Taylor Swift and like who owns these things, like who owns the masters. And I guess like as a creative person and with you as an author, it feels a little swamp assy, all of it.
Yeah. I think Beyonce handled it well. I think she just didn't want this negative energy on this really positive work she made. So she just cut out the sample or the interpolation of Milkshake. It's done. It's over. I feel a little bad for Khalees because I know this means for the next 10 years, people are going to be posting bee emojis on her social media. Because the Beehive is petty. I'll have to say that. I am a card-carrying Beehive member, but we do some petty ass shit.
I mean, who in America is not petty at this point? Like, it's just like a petty fest all over the place. Yeah, what are you going to do?
What are you going to do?
Use that emoji. Use your emoji.
Use your emoji. Khalees, sorry, you're going to see some bees for a while. Moving right along. I will say this word so you do not have to. Beyonce got in hot water because, like Lizzo, she used the word spaz in one of her songs, which kind of surprised me because this just happened with Lizzo a couple months ago. And it surprised me because I've been saying spaz for like 35 years now, and I never associated it with disability. Like, I think over in England and the UK, it's more associated with that sort of thing. I had no idea. Like, it was something people said in the 80s, right? You know, oh my God, you're such a spaz. You know what I mean? It was, if you could have like a muscle spasm and not be disabled. I don't know.
Yeah. I think the repetition of the Lizzo situation happening to Beyonce as well is so interesting. And for me, it really speaks to how we're evolving as human beings and our awareness of disability. And that sounds like so straight and normal of a way to consider all of this, but it really is. Like, I see that we've been able to shift our perception of gender and how like everyone has their pronouns on their LinkedIn now, which is like all boomers and stuff too, and old Gen Xers. So this is like magnificent. But especially with disability, I think that's an area that we think is like very, very small group of people are disabled. And in reality, it's a lot of people. And in reality, we have a totally different language than those people in England who, when they say fanny, they mean something different than when we say fanny.
They do. And they have a word for cigarette that is a slur for gays.
Should be eliminated. Ugh.
You know, of course, since people are upset about this word, I will stop saying it, I guess. But at the same time, I'm like, I never connected those dots. I never.
Yeah. I really didn't either.
Like, it just meant like hyper freaking out, right?
Yeah. Doesn't it just make you think of when Jesse Spano took too many like uppers to pass that test in Saved by the Bell? Like, that's all I think of, not disability.
What? I forget. There's a famous quote from that episode, right?
I'm so excited.
I'm so excited. I'm so excited.
I'm so scared. Sorry. I think as the children say, it lives rent free in my brain.
It's living rent free in my brain as well. All right. Coming to controversy number 3. We have the controversy of Ms. Diane Warren, who she kind of stepped in it.
I love her.
For those who don't know Diane Warren, she is music business royalty. She has written songs for Aerosmith, Cher, Celine Dion, like number one after number one. She's got her name in the credits of a lot of songs. And Diane Warren, who has also worked with Beyonce, she wrote a song called I Was Here for the 4 album for Beyonce. Diane Warren wrote, why does it take 24 people to write a song? And then she put like a eye-rolling emoji. And the Beehive went crazy. There were bees all over her timeline for like a week.
She just didn't know. She
knew. It was the eye roll emoji that gave it away. She knew. You're telling me that Diane Warren hasn't been sampled once or twice through the years?
Maybe she forgot. Maybe she's old.
She is older, yes.
Was that rude? I mean, it was a little rude. I'm sorry, Diane Warren, who's listening. I didn't mean to call you old. I know you're a big fan of Charles.
She's a big fan of the Tea with Charles podcast.
Yeah.
But...
Yes.
How scandalous. I'm clutching my pearls.
So let's move away from controversies now.
Yes. Enough controversy for one day.
Enough controversy. So I heard you got something that every Beehive member is going to be jealous of.
I did. I bought the box, Charles.
You bought Beyonce's box.
I did buy her box.
All right. So like get the box out. Let's describe it for me as we're going through it.
Let me get the box. So yes, describe the box, Charles.
So all I know is that when Beyonce announced the album, she put 4 different boxes that you don't know what's inside them on her website. So you could choose one of 4 boxes. You don't know what's in them on her website. And they were not cheap either. How much was the box?
I think it was like $39 or $40 or $50. What is money when it's going to Beyonce? I don't
Take my money, Beyonce.
take it.
And what was the box made out of?
So the box, I really ordered this box and I was like, oh my gosh, it's a box designed by Beyonce herself. So I was like expecting, I don't know, a collectible box, perhaps. And the box is a very collectible cardboard.
It's a very glamorous,
VIP cardboard.
VIP cardboard.
Yes.
And what was in Beyonce's box?
So in Beyonce's box was a t-shirt with a pose from the album cover, like a pose of the album cover with her on, what was the disco horse's name? Disco horse
Jacob.
Disco horse Jacob. Astride disco horse Jacob, sitting in a little side saddle and arms akimbo. Is that the right word?
Well, she's going like, Hugh.
Yes. With her hair looking amazing.
She's officially going, Hugh, on top of the horse. Arms in the air.
That's the pose. And so it had the shirt and it had this musical relic known as a CD.
A CD?
I know. The album itself, a CD.
I do not even own a CD player in 2022.
Nor do I. And yet I got the box.
You got the box. And the t-shirt, I kind of love it. It's amazing. I heard through the grapevine, or from you actually, you're going to France, right?
Yes. And I'm bringing the shirt.
You are going to work the Beyonce shirt all over Champs-Élysées.
I am. It's going to be incredible. And I told Jean, my mans, that I'm going to wear the shirt in France. And I don't know how to properly express through sound his expression, but it was something like, huh?
Wait, so where are you going in France? Let's talk about that.
So we're flying into Paris, but then we're going north to Brittany, where his dad lives, and then we're driving to Bordeaux, and then we're going back to Brittany.
Oh, very fun. So you'll be out in the countryside.
Yes, I'll be out in the countryside with like the lavender and the chickens, and I can't wait.
Sounds fantastic.
And with Beyonce's boobs on Disco Horse Jacob. Is that his name?
Jacob.
Yeah, Disco Horse Jacob. With all the conservative French people in the countryside. And I go, hey, je m'appelle Beyonce. Just kidding.
Je suis Beyoncé. I've been to France a couple of times. I absolutely love it. I know you're going to have a wonderful time and meet all the beehive in France.
That's the goal.
Eat all the fromage, Hanny. You're going to eat all the fromage.
Mm-hmm.
All the escargot, all the, I mean, France is just like culinary heaven. And, I've had a wonderful time there. So I hope you guys have a fantastic time. I do have a question though,
yes,
I mean, the new Beyonce Renaissance album, of course, the gays love it. The ladies, women love it.
Mm-hmm.
Do you play the Renaissance album around your significant other, is he boyfriend or fiance?
Fiance. So we were painting and doing some like work that you do that involves going to Home Depot frequently together in his house. And he must have really loved me at this one point in time, and he put on like a Beyonce mix. So it was just magnificent. I think he knew I'd be really productive if we put Beyonce on. So I'm like painting and everything is amazing. And a bunch of songs from the new album were a part of this like Pandora mix. And he says he likes Beyonce. Yeah. Doesn't dance to it like I unattractively do, but he says he likes it.
At this point, she's such, like a gay icon, a fixture. I'm surprised. I just get surprised when a straight man says they'll listen to it. But I guess, she's a good performer, great dancer, great vocalist. So what's not to like? I will have to say, when Beyonce was releasing this album, do you think she was sweating just a little bit? Because she's 40 years old. We were talking a bit before. She hasn't had a number one single since 2008, 14 years ago, Single Ladies. That was her last number one on the Billboard 100. Like all of her albums go number one, but Single Ladies was the last song to top the charts without someone else. Like she's had some features like with Megan Thee Stallion and Ed Sheeran that went number one. That's not the same. That's not the same as your own song. So what, do you think she was sweating? You think she had something to prove a little bit?
I have a feeling that Beyonce sweats every day because there's no way you can look that amazing without like working that shit out. So literally, I think she sweats every day. And in regards to her emotions with this album, I think you're right. I think she had to be sweating a little bit, but also does she have the same standards of success that the rest of us peasants do anymore? Could she even? I don't know.
I think, because everybody who has some kind of art, you have to express that art, but at the same time, there's a desire for people to enjoy it, for people to think it's relevant. You want people to, be exposed to it. And when it comes to modern pop music, I'm sure she wanted it to get on the radio and for people to make up TikTok dances to it and that sort of thing.
I think that she's doing great.
I think she's doing wonderful.
It's happening.
I think she was having her sad moment with Lemonade, which is a great album too, but it's not like the twerk and booty poppin' album. It's like, she had she was going through some relationship issues. She was looking at the dark political climate and she expressed that in music. But people want some party music. They want some fun music. You're not going out on a Saturday night say, well, let me listen to this song about my husband cheating on me.
Unless you're going country line dancing, which is an entirely different genre.
That's a different story altogether.
Yeah, but they do that. No, but you're right. Like you want to like party. You want to dance.
I had been praying for a Beyonce dance album, actually, because I liked her last few albums, but it just wasn't that fun in some way. It wasn't like Bootylicious back in Destiny's Child day, like, hey, Bootylicious. It was Beyonce feeling her artistic moment, expressing those emotions. But I was like, please, Beyonce, give us disco. Please, Beyonce, give us disco. And she gave us disco. It was like I was using The Secret.
I think you manifested this.
I manifested this.
You manifested this entire album.
Oh, yes. It was on my vision board.
Renaissance.
Good luck, and may the odds be ever in your favor.
But I was bringing up, I wondered if Beyonce was sweating a little bit because there is, like in modern pop music right now, I made up this term. I call it getting sherified. Like there's the time when the pop diva, like, stops being played on the radio so much, it just becomes like the gay favorite. You know what I mean? Like I say sherified because of the singer Cher. Like after the song Believe, all her subsequent albums, they were hits in like the gay scene or whatever, but they weren't like pop radio hits that got number ones. So I think she was like, I'm going to make sure this album kicks ass. And she was about the same age releasing Renaissance as Madonna was when she released Ray of Light. So it was like kind of a similar moment in their career trajectories.
That's a really interesting parallel. I didn't realize that.
Yes. And as we're bringing up Queen Madonna herself, are you enjoying the remix?
Does a bear shit in the woods? Is a frog's ass watertight? Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. So we're talking about the Queen's remix of Madonna and Beyonce. And it's a remix of kind of mashup of Break My Soul with Vogue. And it's fire. It's a really good track. I can't wait to dance to it. It'll be great for the gym.
Yes.
Part of me was a little scared because, like, of Beyonce's contemporaries, like Madonna has done like co-efforts with a lot of Beyonce's contemporaries. You know what I mean? And I was like, part of me was like, no, Beyonce, no, don't go to Madonna, because Madonna's a notorious mean girl. She's one of the greatest artists in pop music history, but you know, she has been known to be shady.
Wait, Charles, didn't she go to Britney's wedding though?
She did go to Britney's wedding.
Maybe she's not as mean as we think she is. Do you think Britney would be hanging out with her if she was really that mean to Britney? She's not mean to Britney.
She's not well, she made out with Britney. So
good point.
They've got a romantic history there.
Okay. Good point.
But part of me was a little scared. I was like, you know, please, you know, I don't know what diabolical scheme Madonna has in mind, but it turns out the remix was awesome. Beyonce sent a thank you letter to Madonna, and Madonna posted it on her like Snapchat or something like that. She posted a little thank you note. So I think it was all's well that ends well. And inside in the remix, like, you know, in the original Vogue, Madonna does the silver screen stars kind of list, right? She's like, you know, Marilyn Monroe, Dietrich, Dan DiMaggio, that whole thing. And inside the remix of Beyonce replaces those with, you know, Black culture makers. So it's like Aaliyah, Rosetta Tharpe, Santa Gold, and Bessie Smith, and a long list of people. And I thought that was just fantastic. I noticed one thing though.
What?
Mariah Carey is not in the list. She was just about like a lot of the biggest names. You know, you've got Missy, Diana, Grace Jones, Aretha, Anita, Grace Jones. So Grace Jones got on twice and Mariah did not get on once.
I mean, it's Grace Jones though.
It's Grace Jones.
Poor Mariah.
Part of me thinks Mariah's on the phone with B like, hey, B, I'm not in the list. Grace Jones gets on twice and I'm not even on once.
Maybe Mariah and Beyonce talked about it ahead of time. And Beyonce was like, listen, Mariah, I'm going to put you on the list. And Mariah's like, don't put me on the list. I don't need to be on the list. I transcend the list.
She transcends the list. And not only that, Madonna and Mariah have a little bad blood between them, like way back in the day. So
I didn't realize that. I have to tell you, though, I read Mariah's autobiography or her memoir. It was fire. It was fantastic. Fantastic.
Mariah's memoir. Does she give all the tea?
So much tea. It was fantastic.
Do you remember a little Mariah juicy tidbit that you can tell us?
I remember that it was very well written, and I loved hearing about her relationships with her family members and what her life was like growing up. And I remember I liked the part that then I feel like it rushed really quickly. Like once she met Nick Cannon and like had dumb babies, it was like over. And I was like, no, I want to hear more about this, but it ended. But it was really good. It ended. It was good.
So you recommend the Mariah?
Absolutely.
The Mariah Diaries.
And when Beyonce writes her book, I will recommend that as well.
I'll buy I'll buy the Beyonce box then. I'll wait for the book.
Make that book, Beyonce.
I like this show right here, Charles. Tea with Charles. I like it.
Well, Marcella, I've had a wonderful time discussing all things Beyonce with you, all things Renaissance.
Yes. And the box.
And the box. I've been insanely jealous of your box.
I mean, you can have the box. Do you want the CD for the CD player you don't have?
I don't have a CD player. I digitized all my music and I threw out all my CDs like 5 years ago. I wouldn't know what to do. It would be like a coaster because I wouldn't know what to do with a CD.
Maybe they'll come back like albums did, like the records.
It's possible. It's entirely possible.
I'm just going to keep it just in case forever.
Keep it. Keep the Beyonce
Forever.
CD.
I shall.
It has the beautiful cover on it. So, Marcella, where can everybody find you on the internets?
Right now, the best place is Instagram, and I'm at Hammer Time because my name is Hammer, like Hammer Time. Stop Hammer Time. Hammer Time. I'm on LinkedIn, but only old people go there and serious business people, and it's not as much fun.
LinkedIn. So we'll forget LinkedIn. Well,
I mean, if you want to do some business, let's talk on LinkedIn. If you want to be my friend, find me on Instagram. If you want to do some business, let's do some LinkedIn.
So Hammer Time on Instagram. Everybody check it out. And just a reminder, if you want a copy of my new book, Saints and Sinners in Oklahoma City, go to King Charles 0921 and make sure to write in my comments, OKC, because I'm in Oklahoma City, maybe for a couple more months before I hit my next destination. Marcella, you are gorgeous. I hope you have a wonderful time in France.
Oh, wait. How do I say thank you in French?
Merci.
Oh, yeah. Merci.
Merci. I'm going to teach you the one French word that you will need to know. French phrase, anyway.
Is it I love blowjobs?
That too. The most useful phrase I learned when I went to France was "L'addition, s'il vous plaît."
What does that mean?
Check, please.
L'addition,
L'addition, s'il vous plaît. Try it out.
S'il vous plaît.
I hope you have a marvelous time eating all the fromage. And thank you for joining me on the Tea with Charles podcast. Everybody, thanks for tuning in and come back next time. Have a great day.
Au revoir.
Ta-ta for now.